Hello, welcome to Last Week on Gamepass. This is a show where we talk about what came out last week on Gamepass and whether it's worth your hard drive space. I'm William Doyle.
I'm Nathan Combs.
And we'll kick it off with Cyber Shadow, produced by Yakuza Club Games and made by Mechanical Head. It's a 8-bit, or I guess sprite-style game. 16.
Yes, somewhere
16.
between 8 and 16 like bit.
Yeah. It's... I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, so you have a review up on YouTube of it that kind of goes a little in depth. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I got as far as you. You beat it, correct?
I beat it, yeah.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it, and I actually didn't mind it. It's not very difficult. Usually games like this I find hard. Like, I find it difficult.
It gets very hard.
It does? Okay.
Yeah.
For what I played, it wasn't too bad. You know, it's fast-paced. It's fine. It's not really the type of game I put a lot of time into usually, so I guess.
I usually like these kind of games. The game's about 5 hours long. You know, you get upgrades throughout the game. You beat every boss. At a certain point, I got tired of not being able to... There's no dash or sprint. Like, you'd find, like, Mega Man X or something. But you know there's a dash or sprint because it's in the controls. And that was a little frustrating because it's literally the last upgrade you get. And that's when the game becomes really fun because, like, there's a certain dash attacks you get. And it becomes crazy fast-paced and really, I don't know, shines, and because it becomes its own game.
But it's sad you have to get through like 2/3 of the whole game to get to that point, right?
Yeah, it's 80% of the way through the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, not having a double jump or any upgrade for movement, it kind of gets a little boring when you have just the same attack and like you throw shurikens, but like there's too much of the not fun parts of the game to justify playing through the game.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess there is a reason why I put it down and didn't really try to beat it. Like, I didn't mind it, but it
gets a little repetitive.
It's like the same deal. Yeah, exactly. You know, how many hours is this? Because it's like Shinobi, but Shinobi you can beat very fast. Yeah, it's a quick game.
It's 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah, which I feel like is a bit long for a Shinobi-esque game, right?
Yeah. I don't know, there's some really interesting stuff that happens at the point you get sprint, because like when you get sprint, a little bit after that, it upgrades every ability you have.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you a second version of every ability. And that's when it becomes like really fun. You get all these different movement options and stuff. But you only get to play like that for maybe like 40 minutes. And then you beat the game. And there's no New Game Plus. So like it's not like you can replay the game with like all this cool upgraded stuff. But it is only 130 megabytes, 136 megabytes, so...
That's like the counterpoint here, is that it is a small download.
Small download. Some places you'll be able to download this in less than a second. If you want to give it a shot, I say go for it if you like it.
Yep.
If you like it right off the bat, but at any point, if you're like, oh, this is sort of becoming the same thing, I say drop it, because like I was waiting, I was like, I'm gonna get the sprint. This is the upgrade, I get the sprint, and it wasn't, and it never is until the last one.
That's sad.
Yeah,
I really not recommend, but it's small enough to where if it at least somewhat interests you,
try it.
But yeah, I mean, not your type of game. You probably weren't gonna download it anyway, so
yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah,
and like I didn't like it, and this like is my type of game. I love these types of games. So
that means something. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up, go for it.
Yeah,
go for
it's
your collection.
Yeah. So what we got, the Yakuza remastered trilogy. We got 3, 4, and 5. So Kiwami 1, 0, 2 are already on Game Pass, and then we got 3, 4, and 5. And then 6 comes out on Game Pass in March. So we pretty much have the whole main series of Yakuza on Game Pass, which I think is amazing. That is so good. That is hundreds and hundreds of hours of content. I'll say I have not played these, and that's because I love these games so much, and I haven't beat Kiwami 2 yet. That's where I'm at. And I wanted to beat it before the show, but I didn't want to rush through it and kind of kill the experience. So I didn't want the spoilers, but I just want to say I recommend the series. I think this series is amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's silly, but the story is like serious. If you're scared of like anime like type stories, like you're not really into that, this isn't that. It's not.
It's
like
not that.
Yeah, it's a fun crime story. It's I don't know, with a ton of mini games, a lot to do. I guess from what I know about the series, 3 is considered the worst. 3 is considered not the greatest.
Really?
Yeah. But 4 and 5 are considered great games. So, I mean, it's Yakuza. I'm going to play 3 no matter what, even what they say, because I feel like even the worst Yakuza is a good Yakuza. So
yeah, you got me into this. I've been playing Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
And when I was recording the footage for this, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
I had to I don't know. I was playing through 5, and I got to a point where there's actual combat, so I can show that. Mm-hmm. Playing 0 also. It's the same combat. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna get with the combat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird playing 5 straight from 0.
Yeah.
Because Kiryu, I tried to skip the cutscenes, but there's some stuff you couldn't skip, so I ended up reading some of it. So it's wild how it shows that he's changed. He's aging, and I don't know. I just think it's really cool. He's still very much the same person, but it's just getting older.
Yeah, and he's learned a lot and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
it's cool. These come in at Yakuza 3 is 17.9 gigabytes. Yakuza 4 is 24.9 gigabytes, and Yakuza 5 is 37.5 gigabytes.
Yeah. So they get bigger and bigger.
They get bigger, but also you don't need them all on your hard drive.
Exactly. Yeah.
So at most, it's going to be 37.5 gigabytes.
Yeah, and let's say you get to the point in Yakuza 5, if you're there, you're probably going to download it. You know what I mean? Oh, I love these games. I played the 4. Let me go ahead and start up 5.
Yeah. Yakuza 5 has Virtua Fighter 2 on it, too.
Yes.
And you can play that from the main menu with somebody. So, hey, Virtua Fighter 2 is now on Game Pass.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's what I love about the series, because Kiwami 2 also has Virtua Fighter, and Like a Dragon has Virtua Fighter 5, like a brand spank. That's like a
360
3D
game.
Yeah, 360 game. A whole 360 arcade game is in there, and it's fun. I like what you said about characters changing, because I feel like that's what's so great about it. Characters learn and evolve, but the world you stay in is the same. You pretty much are always in Kamurocho, but not only does that stay the same, but it changes. So it's the same layout, but the city builds, it changes with time. I think that's one of the coolest aspects. You know what you're going to get, but you know there's going to be enough change there to make it somewhat interesting.
Yeah, I highly recommend playing through these games. Maybe don't start with these if you've never played them, 4 and 5. Start with Kiwami or 0.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. For sure. Give it a shot. It's worth a shot. Some of the best games on Game Pass.
Highly recommend these. They will take up a lot of time, though.
Yes, yeah. If you're not ready for that time investment.
That's the one thing that's stopping me. It's a time investment, but I think if I can get past the idea of I'm not going to do everything in these games, they won't take that long.
Yeah,
I just go through the story and do whatever side missions pop up.
I just played through the story of Kiwami, and it took about 12 hours, and I didn't really do any of the side stuff. So it's pretty good. Yeah,
just whatever you run into, you did, but
exactly
you didn't go out looking for stuff.
Yeah, it was I ran into a sub story, or this mini game looks like fun. Let me give it a shot. Yeah,
I think that's how I'm going to play them. So the little less.
I will say I'm playing Kiwami 2 right now, and it is amazing. You want to talk about how the combat's the same? Kiwami 2, they changed it, and it's so good.
It's better?
The combat, you know how you have a little bit of loading screen like an RPG? It's seamless. From the street getting in the fights, it's very beautiful. There's so many mini games, it's nuts. Kiwami 2 is really, really good. So if you get to that point, I recommend it. Yeah.
All right. That's the download from us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's head on to the Medium. This came out. This is the first Xbox Series X exclusive game. You can't play this on the Xbox One.
Yeah, this is a big deal release. Probably one of the biggest Game Pass releases we talked about.
Big deal. Music by Silent Hill. Very Silent Hill inspired, I feel like.
No, for sure. It definitely feels like Silent Hill, like kind of like as far as movement goes, you're kind of moving around creepy environments.
Older Resident Evil type deals also.
Yeah.
No, like combat, I guess.
No. I mean, I haven't. I mean, I've played like a good amount. I haven't beaten it yet, so I don't know if anything changes. But yeah, it's more puzzle solving, which is kind of like Silent Hill. Silent Hill's really big on puzzles. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty far ways into it. I'm like 5 hours in or so.
Yeah.
And right when I thought, oh, the game should be wrapping up any moment now, something happens where, I guess it's not really a spoiler, but you change characters. There's a second character you play as, which I had no idea about.
That's nuts.
So they have their whole own story also that kind of intertangles with the other characters.
Oh, interesting.
And it got a little more plot heavy than I thought it would get. Instead of just like, ooh, a spooky story, it gets pretty deep. And
pretty cool.
I think it's interesting. If you're looking for a good scare, this game scared me, like,
really
a few times.
Yeah.
There are a few parts in this game that like just scared me. The monster also. Have you seen the monster in this thing? It's scary.
Yeah,
it's a scary guy. It looks like the Pan Labyrinth dude.
Yeah, it does a good job of being a creepy game. Like, it's probably one of the creepiest games I've played in a little bit. I guess I want to say it's made by a Bloober team, and they made Blair Witch, which I thought had some spooky moments too. So I think there's something they're good with. And
Layers of Fear, they also made.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
I think the set pieces in this game get really interesting. If you're looking for like crazy action intense horror game, this ain't it.
It's pretty close to a walking simulator in a way. Not like exactly that. It has more, but it definitely is a lot of walking around, kind of looking at stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get to the monster. It probably takes like 3 hours or so to get to him.
It wants you to explore a lot more.
The build up to the monster, I think, is like such a great payoff of this thing. I think it's good. I think it's worth a download at 23.1 gigabytes.
No, I totally agree. I think it is worth the memory. I think it's a neat game, and there's something, I don't know. When I first heard about this game being in split screen, I actually wasn't too interested. I was kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, that's cool, I guess. But playing it, controlling both characters at the same time, I realized just how neat it is. I've never played a game that does this, and it surprisingly, it works really well. It's really cool.
Yeah. And I think that would be great for scares, because like, I find myself, whenever it goes split screen, I pay attention to one screen more than the other.
Yes, yeah.
And like, sometimes like I'll be like, oh, why can't I walk here? And I look over at the other screen and like there's something blocking me.
God, and I do want to touch again, the music, I really like. It's wacky. Like it's Silent Hill. The same guy does the music for Silent Hill, so it's like dark ambient, but also like with rock riffs in it. It's
very good at tension building.
Yes, it is, yeah. So yeah, I think that's a recommend, and this is my first 2021 game, or my first, well, I guess Cyber Shadow. And but I think the Medium is a really good like start for Xbox Series X exclusives. I think we got hopefully some good games coming out this year.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and I think that wraps it up, right?
Yeah, exactly. That wraps it up. Another recommend. Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
or watching.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah, see you next Sunday on Last Week on Game Pass.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.